This is not a drill. The Philadelphia 76ers actually won their second game in a row in a convincing win against the Chicago Bulls, led by none other than Tyrese Maxey himself, who is building a solid case to become an all-star reserve for this year's all-star game. There's plenty to break down. Welcome on into NZ for 3, where no matter how many times the Sixers put us through immense suffering, we show up and we talk about them. Let's get into it. We need to discuss Tyrese Maxey's heroics as of late. He was balling this game, 31 points, 9 assists. The Tyrese Maxey that we have been expecting the entire year. We have set high expectations for Maxey year after year. The dude just kept getting better. Gym rat. Finally, it's starting to pay off for him. I really did not like criticizing him for a good part of this season, but he deserved it. He was not playing up to par ever since he inked that max contract of his. A lot of just missed open shots, tunnel vision, frustration mounting, but he finally broke through, got through that slump, and is now one of the most productive players in the league, carrying the Sixers team. He deserves to be an all-star this year. I don't care how many games the Sixers are losing. He's the only dude out, one of the only dudes on the Sixers showing any heart. He's coming out night in and night out, dropping 30 bombs, really doing well in the playmaking department as well. You can see a lot of games where he had over 10 assists. Just look at this stretch right here. Game 36 all the way down to game 22 or whatever. Oh, just to start his 40-point game. Ever since he got this 40-point game against the Charlotte Hornets in mid-December, look at all these games, man. 27, 32, 33, a couple stinkers here and here, but then 31, 29, 30, 29, 33, 37, 28, and 29 against the upset win against the Cavaliers. And he hooped out tonight too, dropping 31, just having himself an overall excellent performance. My biggest takeaway from the way Maxey was playing was not only his functioning from the three-point line, finally draining those shots, but the way he was getting those shots too. Nick Nurse finally understood that Maxey is not a primary ball-dominant player that will, make something out of nothing all the time like James Harden tends to do, just an innate point guard. Instead of Nick Nurse putting all of the ball handling duties on Tyrese Maxey, he gave a lot of the responsibility to Paul George, bringing up the ball on multiple possessions. Kyle Lowry, too, pairing him with Maxey, and it helped him out a lot. Having those extra ball handlers around him to just kick him the ball whenever guys like Adem Bona would set screens for him and get him open looks. It worked out really well, just a smooth offense from the Sixers in this game. That was the most important part for me, was just how they are utilizing Tyrese Maxey, utilizing his speed, making him run around a bunch of screens while these guys set screens for him and seal off these defenders. Adem Bona deserves a lot of credit for the offense the Sixers were running this game. His impact may not show up in the box score, only 4 points and 7 rebounds, but those who watched this game saw the energy he can provide you on both ends of the floor. I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing out of Adem Bona. I do not want Andre Drummond to be the backup center over him. I think it's time for Drummond to be traded once again. I don't think there's really a place for him here with his injury history. He can be used a lot better, I guess, with these other teams now that the Sixers aren't really looking to be winning games anymore and start heading towards a tank, trying to get a high draft pick. It's time to be selling off these veterans by the February 8th deadline. So we got to see a more Adem Bona run. He is one of the most entertaining players on this team, and the way he can just roll to the basket, put back dunks, big thing with him too. He just always crashes the glass. Got one over a Justin Edwards miss. Something a Sixers player has not done in years. Adem Bona has been doing so often with this team, and has been so refreshing to see. So I don't want to see Andre Drummond anymore. I want to see Adem Bona. I want to see Adem Bona start. That might be a hot take, but Gershon Yabusele cannot play center. He is not big enough. He is an excellent player, but Nick Nurse is making him look bad by playing him at center. Admittedly, we can be looking at a really different result if the Bulls actually made their wide open layups. The one thing I did not like from this game was some of the defensive scheming on the Sixers, and they were playing so much drop coverage, giving the Bulls easy, wide open layups. Thankfully, the Bulls are trash. Patrick Williams, oh my goodness, I've never seen a dude miss so many wide open layups in my entire basketball watching experience, other than like Brooklyn Nets Ben Simmons. But the Bulls were getting a lot of easy looks, just not capitalizing off of them, and I didn't like how the Sixers were, kept letting them find ways to get back into the game. Rebounding was another problem this team had in this game, and that they will have for the rest of our lives. Whenever have the Sixers been a good rebounding team? It is nauseating watching this team try and complete these defensive possessions. 54-40 on the boards. The Bulls destroying the Sixers on the glass. Didn't really matter much because the Sixers were able to win pretty convincingly, but the Bulls were still exploiting the Sixers' lack of size and athleticism. There was this one play where Adem Bona was getting boxed out. The Bulls player missed a shot. None of the Sixers looked at the basket whatsoever. They were all frozen pretty much, both mentally and physically. And then Ayo Dosunmu just cut right to the basket and got the easiest layup of his entire career. From Nick Nurse's perspective, I don't know how he can keep watching this team be so lazy on the boards, but like when we talk about these issues, how much can they really matter at this point? Like how much can we all just scream and yell at them to just crash the glass when they really have no hope for the rest of the year? It's like we're just talking into the void over and over again. It's the same thing that the Sixers have been doing for the past 7 or 8 years now. It's so funny how much times they change the roster and the coach or whatever, yet the same fundamental issues remain. I don't even know why that tangent got so dark, but on a good note, Kelly Oubre Jr. has done a fantastic job raising his trade value. Like I said in last game's recap video, Kelly Oubre's hustle and grit is something to behold. 22 points, 12 rebounds, another and one play from him. You love to see that from Kelly. His north-south mindset, just the ability to absorb contact, bully the defender. Oh, it's so satisfying watching him play. Just create that separation, make some easy layups when he is willing to put his body at risk. A lot of minutes from Kelly too, 37, but that's what you like to see. I think Kelly Oubre can really help another team. I don't really have one in mind that I could really think of. Maybe like the Miami Heat or something that they can use when they're, retooling. But Kelly, he has been so good with the Sixers this year. One of the most underrated players on this team. Eric Gordon, he deserves recognition too. Did you know he's shooting 50% from three on about 4 or so attempts in the month of January? That is ridiculous. Eric Gordon has been getting so much hate from the fan base, but is balling. He is balling in this month. It hasn't been looking good because the Sixers suck, but Eric Gordon is also doing a great job raising his trade value. Could you get a second-round pick for Eric Gordon? Maybe you can. He had 2 great passes to Ricky Council cutting to the baseline. One of them, Ricky scored, and then he got fouled on the next one. Eric Gordon showing that he can be, a decent combo guard, a guy who could handle the ball and find the right read. Ricky Council, showing his effort as well with those plays. These Sixers role players are showing that they can have some value in the league, hopefully, and they can be sold off by the deadline, but that's for Daryl Morey to decide. That's pretty much all I got. Thank you all. If you watch until the end, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I will be streaming the next game when the Sixers take on the Lakers on Tuesday night, so be sure to join in and hang out with me. But until next time, stay safe out there. Peace.